Yo, it's Happy. Recently I've been sat thinking about where I am in life and all the things that have led me to this spot, and with those thoughts it got me thinking about all the times I've failed. How every failure has ended up really just being a win. I know that sounds like I'm talking nonsense because the very basis of a failure means that you haven't succeeded, but I don't think you ever really fail. You just say it's failure because it still hasn't been long enough for you to see the win. Sometimes it takes longer than others. Sometimes you understand how to fix whatever it is so quickly that you don't even have time to call it failure. But it still was for that brief period. It just never had long enough to get seen as one. On that same type of beat, when I hear failure, I think of a chance to not repeat. I mean, I'm no exception for being stubborn. I mean, look at the Dark Souls challenges, especially when I beat Manus for the first time. In all honesty, regardless of the fact I spent so many hours trying to beat him, I never changed up my failing tactic and still ended up winning. In that sense, I'm prevailing through my success by just sheer will of trying, which in fairness sometimes is all you need. You just need to believe that you can, confident enough in yourself that you really can do it. It doesn't matter if others look at you and don't see the person you feel you are. Luckily they are looking at you, and you are you, if that makes sense and isn't just a clogfest of yous. Either way, what I'm trying to say is the way they perceive you shouldn't impact you, as it's not the truth itself. Also, shout out my boy Sir Antonius for the shout out, playing Dark Souls 3 in Homage. Bro makes crazy good content and has been crazy supportive of me. All his links are below if you're wanting great Souls content. Getting back on topic, failure has many positive factors attached too. For instance, if you fail, you can learn what you did that made you fail to avoid it in the future. I believe I've said this before, but even if you fail again, as long as it's not the same way as a previous fail, then you're still moving. In a way, if you fail so many times that there is only the right way left, fingers crossed you've learned from your fails so you can finally win. I mean, it's the only outcome left. That also doubles back on perseverance. Alongside that, if you are failing and you aren't sat with a mindset that is trying to enable your growth, then in all honesty, your failures might not change. Other people might fail the same, but it won't take them as long to figure out how to fix it. That won't be the same for you, not until you decide to have that growing mindset. And yes, I know I'm sat here preaching this like some know-it-all, but it's just my opinion ultimately. Take on board what you choose and turn the rest to white noise. I mean, I don't think everything I'm saying is correct for everyone. I'm very much my own individual like everybody else that lives, so that is how it's bound to pan out. But a desire to grow as a person, I'd hope that that would be a very universal desire. And speaking on desire, you have to want it. You have to want to resolve it. When I'm speaking on these types of topics, although I understand it can probably be used for things that happen in real life, my aim is more mental health wise, although that is also real life. But you get what I mean. As I feel mental health is the most important thing for a person. Your health is your wealth, truly. And I forever hope that all that watch, regardless of if they like this or not, do well in life and have healthy, prosperous futures. The phrase "it takes a village," in a way the earth is humans' very own village. With that in mind, everyone is my neighbour, so try to be nice to all. The world's messed up right now for everyone. Also, it's Movember, so for all the guys out there, my boys, you are doing great. Keep it up. If you feel stuck right now, just know you ain't. You're just in the slow stage of progression. Keep at it. You got this. In attempts to go back to original point of which was failure, if you forgot, sometimes you gotta take a break from what you're failing at and just come back later. Something like Dark Souls is such a perfect example for this, and another reason to why I love it so much. I mean, how many times have you fought a boss or tried to get past the area and you just can't, no matter how many times you try? So you leave, you go do something else that helps you get a level up on character, weapon or armor, and then go back and do it first time. Or the quintessential Souls player move of dying on repeat, taking an hour break from the game, returning and first timing it. Because, I mean, that's happened to me countless times. So if you know what I'm on about, leave the boss that you think of when you hear that below. I'm interested to know. For me, it's obviously Manus because bro just stinks. If Dark Souls isn't a good example, just think about all the times you failed something and gave up on it, only to return 2 or 3 years later. Things learnt from other failures and successes, potential new mindset, and maybe more headstrong. Those things are all benefited and nurtured by failure, so don't be afraid of failure. Try to embrace it. Challenge the failure with a new tactic. Show it what you've learned and how you're going to overcome it thanks to what you've learned. I'd also like to say that I feel if you're giving it your all, giving 100% or as much as you can at that time, regardless of if that leads to failure, is better than not trying at all and having failure. Like, are you worried about being mocked for it? Like what, being mocked for trying your hardest? Yeah, that just doesn't make sense to me. Give it your all and you'll probably find out, even though you failed, you were still supported, and you'll 100% be supported more than if you failed and didn't try at all. Now, there is many other factors in failure that I haven't touched on or even like touched the surface of, but in attempts of not overloading you with yap, and also because I don't want to drag this on, I'm just going to say thank you for all the support as of recent. Once again, Sir Antonius is a legend. I really appreciate the shout out. If you're watching and don't know who he is, go check him out. He makes great Dark Souls runs where he tries out different weapons and character builds. So if you're into that and you want to laugh a little, then check him out. His link will be below. That just leaves me to say thank you for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the world from my perspective. If you did, a sub or like really helps with the algorithm. Have a great day or night and stay safe.